Hey y'all, I'm Brooke Hoover, a Louisiana native, actor, writer, and comedian. I've lost 100 pounds through diet and exercise, or shall I say, lifestyle changes. My 20-year and counting health journey has taught me that just like taking a diet pill for weight loss, body positivity doesn't magically happen overnight. I'm working on regaining my self-esteem and rekindling my love affair with Cajun and Southern comfort food in a healthier way, all the while juggling eating as clean as I can, reestablishing myself in the entertainment industry, which, as we know, is historically fat-phobic, all the while showing my inner fat girl some love. That's fat with a PH. Pretty hot and tempting. Let me tell y'all a tale or two. What's up, y'all? While I'm first and foremost an actor, writer, creator, my side hustle for many years, before the pandemic especially, was a personal organizer. I originally got into it because I was used to having larger homes back home with a lot of storage. And then I had to get really creative in college with storage. Most of it was plastic. I still have some of it. And even more so, I had to get more creative in my tiny apartment. And tiny apartments aren't quite so cute or charming as tiny houses on HGTV. I say, that's cute in theory, but screw that. One of my friends once told me, hey, Brooke, you should do this organization thing as a job. And that's how it all began. Y'all, we've all heard about the idea and the action of spring cleaning. Hey, there's like a whole Full House episode about it, which isn't surprising given that Danny Tanner is such a neat freak. Much love and respect to Bob Saget up there. I love that guy. Spring cleaning makes sense. It's spring. It's time for a fresh start. Time to clean up our house and our stuff and get ready to spend the days outdoors. So let's clean up our homes, even though we are going to be outdoors more now that the weather is warmer. It makes sense in a way for spring cleaning to clean your house and then go spend all your days outside. But what makes more sense to me is fall cleaning, fall organization. Think about it, y'all. You're fixing to spend a lot of the colder winter months all up in your house. Don't you want it clean? Winter is already heady and heavy enough. Why not refreshen it by getting rid of some stuff? And I will pause right now. Won't apologize. I always say be careful about over apologizing. Apologize to your microphone, but don't over apologize. If you hear kind of like me hissing my S's or slurring a little bit, I'm essentially wearing a flipper. I had to have a tooth extracted, and while we pray and wait for an implant to take, I am sounding a little weird, but because I also video record this, I put the flipper in. Otherwise, when I do voiceover stuff, I'm leaving it out because you don't hear quite that. What's that? Stan's sister from South Park. That's who I feel like I sound like. Anyways, today I'm going to be telling some tales and sharing some tips about organizing and decluttering, as well as giving y'all some of my pet peeves or rethinking the organizational things we've been told in magazines or on TV shows that are great in theory, but are really hard to practice. So we are going to get a little down and dirty. Now, personally, organizing is the easy part for me. Acquiring too much stuff and parting with the stuff is more difficult. I am a self-proclaimed TJ maximalist, y'all. I'm not saying that the way out is to be a minimalist because that's not going to work for everyone. I'm sorry, you just can't all have a Zen moment and become a minimalist like that snap of the fingers. It won't work. Like for me, I've decided I don't want to be a minimalist. I like stuff. I also don't have a closet in my bedroom. My only closet is downstairs. It's essentially the storage and coat closet, which is where I record from. I have so much stuff in here, but it has a rhyme and a reason and an organization. And keep in mind, if my closet looks a little whack, I'll actually, if people give a damn, I will actually show y'all photos of how I've organized a very weird space and also made it a voiceover booth. So what I'm saying is don't focus on, oh my gosh, I've got to get rid of a ton of stuff. We'll talk about that. We all do. We all could stand to get rid of some stuff. But I understand it's hard to part ways with things, right? So there needs to be a rhyme and a reason to your things, no matter how much things you have. You need to know where they live, both physically and the mental space they take up. They say, listen to your body when you're starting to get sick. And I always say, yeah, true that, but also listen to your stuff. A surefire way to help me personally with mental overwhelm is to do something tangible and to go through and do like a cleanse of my stuff. And that's why I think fall is the perfect time, because fall is the time we're fixing to hibernate. We're fixing to get down and dirty and real with ourselves, with our literal and figurative homes. So here's the thing. Don't ever bet on getting more space as being the best resolution to like being able to have more stuff. I'll explain that. Oh, I have all this stuff, but if I get a storage unit, if I pay extra for a storage unit, or if only I had a bigger house, that'd be the solution. And that's not necessarily true. I have a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house up here in the Northeast region. We call it a row home. In New Orleans, we call it a shotgun home because you could shoot a gun from one way to the other and the bullet would go out. I won't get into guns, but I don't condone guns, but that's what we call them in New Orleans. So if I took all my stuff here in my small house and put it in my aunt's Acadian style house back home in Baton Rouge, that is 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, literally more than double the size of my house. I might be organized for a hot minute just because I wouldn't yet have enough stuff to fill the home. But with those same behavioral patterns, if you don't have an organizational behavior, like a koi fish to a koi pond, your stuff is going to expand to its Joanna and Chip Gaines approved vessel if you don't have this system in place. I know I keep saying organizational system, and I really mean like a philosophy, following a few basic tips, a grooming, a hygiene, if you will. Oh, we shouldn't have said grooming. That's not a good way to put it. I'm not grooming anybody. God, I'm so sorry, y'all. But like a hygienic. Oh gosh, I hope y'all know what I mean. A way in which to have a method that works for you where you're not amassing stuff, especially clumps of stuff in one particular spot. We'll be talking about that, or I'll be showing clips on social media to show you how to deal with those specifically. Um, Everything has a space, and there's space for everything. That's what we need to work on, and can be very difficult. But I'm here to help. Without a method, and here's where an organization coach can come into play. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Shameless self-promotion, because I do virtual organization and in-person organization coaching. Save 20% on your first session with code. I heard about this code on your podcast, Brooke. Chaos can happen even in a vessel as large as the Home Alone house, or heck, even in like the Richie Rich mansion. What's up with me and these Macaulay Culkin movie references? We need to bring him back and make him portray a middle-aged hoarder in a film. Although his brother Kieran would probably be the one to book it, let's be honest. But too much stuff can fester up in your brain like termites in a cypress wood shack. I don't like scare tactics, y'all. I really don't. There's someone who I follow on Instagram. I think Bobby, he does like these food things and these hacks, and he shows you what food's good like at Aldi and what food's good at Costco and what's really bad and what's really bad. And he's starting to use a lot of scare tactics, and I'm shying away from that. So I really don't want to do scare tactics. But y'all, when it comes to cleaning and organization, I take it seriously. That's what it is. We're not scaring, we're just really taking things seriously. Because not only do I see how organization or lack thereof affects people mentally, it literally translates from physical things to emotional things. What are we really holding on to? And what's more important to me, my favorite part of the job,
is seeing clients feel the relief once their home has been organized. Things that we thought we had to keep, whether a gift, a great discount, or an item we're saving for a special occasion that never happened, all take on too much physical space and too much mental space. And we aren't even aware of the mental load of it until we get rid of it, until we release it. Here's the thing though. Most of the clients I've had in the past just want me to go in there and be like the workhorse and clear everything out and get rid of it for them and organize it and fold it all nice and neat and roll it up all nice and neat. And I don't mind that. But when I go back in 6 days or 6 weeks or 6 months, we are right back to where we started with the stuff accumulation and clutter and chaos. Some people don't want to learn the organizational systems and rules that I kind of tried to implement, or they're maybe too afraid or too busy or can't be bothered with addressing the behaviors, the triggers that cause this need to overaccumulate stuff or to not tend to something when it's either right there in front of your face or out of sight, out of mind. We'll get to that topic, out of sight, out of mind, a little later, friends. While many of us want peace, we think we want peace, we often thrive on chaos. I once had a client who needed to sell her Upper West Side apartment, or more so, a real estate agent who actually got me the gig coerced her into selling her apartment. He hired me to come over and help her excavate so we could eventually get to the staging process. The real estate agent, like a good salesperson, wasn't completely honest or upfront about how bad this apartment was. It was a beautiful, let's put it this way. I'm not saying real estate agents aren't honest. I have plenty of friends who are real estate agents. I just say they tend to really sugarcoat, like brown butter, sugarcoat everything. This lady's apartment was a beautiful 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom apartment, a half block from Central Park West. But I'm not lying when I say you could barely walk in it. I'm a personal organizer and sometimes part unlicensed therapist to my clients, my organizational clients, but I'm not a miracle worker. But I tried my best. This lady saved everything, including receipts from the 90s that she kept in boxes upon boxes. Many people would say, oh, just throw those damn receipts away. And believe me, I wanted to. Could have gotten the job done really quick. But I mean, I get paid by the hour, but in my heart of hearts, I don't care about making the money. I care about making the client feel better, right? You're dealing with people who have feelings and emotions and attachments and memories. They're dealing with loss. Some of them have dealt with addiction. They're dealing with a lot. We're dealing with a lot. So with this lady, I got creative and I suggested we get like some of her favorite receipts, maybe the ones that weren't memorable, the ones that we could still read, the ones that weren't all like threadbare and worn away and no more ink on them. And I said, why don't we make like a shadow box artwork out of it? We'll do like 3, boom, boom, boom. You can put it in the hallway of your new home. We'll mat it, look fabulous. That's something I learned from the Anne Olivia Hoover School of DIY. Anne Olivia Hoover is my mama. The ladies seemed to like that idea, but when we got to the boxes that had toiletries from hotels from 1985 to 2013, I said, oh no, we are not going to shadow box all this shit. I told the real estate agent he needed to have a big heart to heart with this client because deep down she couldn't let go of the stuff that seemed insignificant to him, the real estate agent, to the outside eye. I said, how do you expect her to part with an apartment when she can't even get rid of a bottle of 20-year-old shampoo from the Hilton? I also gently nudged this lady to find a therapist to talk to because I could tell she was very reticent about doing her homework of bringing things to donation that we had painstakingly worked on to make a to donate pile. And it wasn't just, oh, you're not donating. It was something really deep was going on. And I felt like she was kind of being bullied or pushed by the real estate agent. And I wanted an outside eye other than me. Again, I'm not a licensed or equipped for any of this other than dealing with like the physical stuff and the mental stuff as much as I can. So I don't quite know what happened other than the real estate agent and I just had a heart to heart. And I said, you need to talk to her and you need to do the right thing by her because she is going through a lot. Um, she had even saved one of those blue New Jersey license plates. She hadn't had a car or lived in New Jersey in over 20 years. And she promised me she'd give me the blue New Jersey license plate because I told her I have a license plate collection as wall art in my backyard. Hey, y'all, it's a Louisiana thing. But she couldn't even part with that. Even though she knew it was going to go to such a good home, she couldn't part with it. This was an extreme case. This was a hoarder situation. And not many of my clients are extreme hoarders, but everyone, including myself in some shape or form, has a healthy and oftentimes unhealthy connection to things. I want people to realize personal organization. See, I don't edit stuff like that out because I ain't got time for that, and that's real. But I know that sounds very disorganized of me to flub my words, but you know what? It's all about perfectly imperfect. What? So we're going to restart that sentence. Let's blame it on the flipper. I want people to realize personal organization is more than simply having magazine worthy before and after cute containers from the Container Store. What a genius name for a store. Not. Anyways, this isn't Better Homes and Gardens magazine. This is your life. It's an emotional roller coaster and a way to organize and declutter your brain, heart, and soul while creating space in your underwear drawer. We have to let go of the fear while we let go of the cashmere. We're rhyming again. Sweater that has moth holes and it's an ugly chartreuse color that was never really a good color on me. I mean, but we bought it on sale at Filene's basement and it was such a good deal and I was going to wear it to that ugly sweater party that I was never invited to. Y'all feel me? Here's the way I approach organizing. I can't stand how magazines and Pinterest, which I also love and pull inspiration from, but they make it seem like having a perfect home, perfectly organized, so much space and room and minimalism at its finest is the only way to go. It's the only way out. And really, many of our organizational spaces and budgets aren't so black or white. We all live kind of in the gray. We don't have maybe the time, the budget, the resources, the space that these magazine worthy photos that have designers, art directors creating them do. Even the people who make like these videos, they've planned it. They've planned it, but they're not living your real life, right? We have to work with the best that we can. Having a perfect home feels sometimes as difficult and unachievable and out of our control as having a perfect body because they've been defined by someone else. And both are really figments of all the magazine's imaginations that I read in the bathtub. I still do read paper magazines. And then I start to fret that, oh my gosh, my house is cute, but it's not that cute. And then I say, wait, girl, you used to do this with yourself when you were younger with like the Cosmo magazines and the 17 magazines in your bidet, and now you're doing it with your house. Get over it. So that's why, for me, working as an organizer with clients, my goal is to make people feel like it's doable, it's achievable. It doesn't have to be perfect. There just needs to be a system that works for you. If the organizational and home improvement and cleaning photos and posts you see give you more guilt instead of inspiration, then that's going to completely cause a lack of inertia. We're going to tell ourselves, well, my studio apartment will never be able to look like that. So why even bother? Why even start? Why even do a little bit? So I'm going to break it down and give y'all some tips that may help. And remember, y'all, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was a clutter-free apartment. You may need to keep things that don't bring you joy, and you may not have room for things that bring you joy, and you may have to part with them. Having lost 100 pounds, I've had a ton of experience of getting rid and parting with clothes that just don't fit me anymore, literally and figuratively, including clothes that I loved, like that green Grinch colored polar fleece that got me through my college years. But sometimes it's just time to say bye, Felicia. Here are 7 organizational tips that you can do over the next week or two, or especially when it starts to get too cold to even enjoy the outdoors, depending on where you're located. My Louisiana friends, just wait till football season's over, I guess. This is going to help you clear your clutter and your mind. Number 1, maybe. Have a maybe pile. Get a laundry basket or heck, even use a trash bag, something. As you go through your clothing, I could even do it right now. Oh, like maybe I might, I don't know if I'm going to keep this or not. Put your maybe stuff in it, right? And if you don't wear it within 3 months within that season, then it goes. Like if you don't miss it, you know what I mean? If you want to get rid of it sooner than 3 months, than that season, here's what you do. I think Kim Kardashian does this trick. Instead of looking at yourself in a mirror to get a good idea of what something really looks like, it's actually better if you take a photo of yourself. So put that outfit on, put that maybe clothing on, maybe shirt, maybe sweater, go take a photo of yourself. And that way you'll also have the photo for later if you want to text your friends or family members and say, hey, I don't want this, but do you want it? Or if you want to go sell it on Poshmark or sell it somewhere. Because if you have donation guilt, as in like, I bought this, I don't want to just donate it to one of those donation dumpsters and it will probably end up in a landfill. You might want to text your friends and family and see if they want it, or you might want to try to sell it. If you don't like the way you personally look in it when you look at the photo, that's when you text your friend or that's when you try to sell it. But a maybe pile is a lot easier than having a definite yes and a definite no pile. It's definitely easier than having a no pile if this is new to you or if parting with things are difficult. But trust me, like if I got like 5 things from this winter season and put them in a bag because they're my maybes and I don't miss them from November until like, I don't know, February, March, then I'm not going to want them, and then they could just go bye-bye. But if you don't want to hold on to them for that long, do the photo trick. Okay. 2, pack a real or a proverbial suitcase. This is a good way to figure out your favorite or your most useful items. Excuse me, a little cough. Pretend like you're going on a trip for 2 weeks in the fall or spring, depending on where you live, right? Pretend like you're going on a trip for like winter and summer, or like if you're in Louisiana or a climate without crazy seasons, kind of adjust accordingly, right? So New Yorker friends, pack your bags for Alaska, pack your bags for Hawaii, and then pack like your bags to go on a 2-week trip for a fall thing and a 2-week trip for a spring thing. You're really going to suss out your favorite winter and favorite summer clothing and gear and your favorite kind of like everyday staples, because half the year is fall and spring. 3, don't fret, my pets. Oh, that's creepy. About perfection. Making some headway is better than nothing. Having some sort of system in place, even if it's, I'll tidy up the kitchen table or counters before bed every night. I'll spend 10 minutes doing that. That's good. Don't think about what you have not done. Think about what you have accomplished. Our homes will never look like magazines unless you have tons of space and tons of money to spend on organizational equipment and an interior designer. Do the best so you can make it manageable for you and be able to find everything and know what you own, which leads me to 4, don't spend a ton of money on organizational equipment in advance. Don't buy the organizational equipment in advance. When you're just starting to go through things, I'm sure you can find boxes, reuse your Amazon cardboard boxes, trash bags, something to start putting things into. Or what I really love to do is use those big TJ Maxx type of bags. You won't know how much you'll keep, toss, or donate till later, so why go spend all the money for your organizational equipment up front? For boxes and storage, once you do get your equipment, always think clear when possible and always maximize space. Certain storage containers can have edges that are almost like rounded and bubble shaped. Don't use those. They're going to be a big space sucker. I have a couple. My mama has a couple of CDs that she has liked to save because both of our cars are old enough that they still take CDs. I will actually be probably posting that on Instagram as a do not use this organizational tool. But I'm not going to get rid of it because we have the space for it, and I don't like to like waste plastic like that. But in the future, I will not buy this kind of thing. You really want to be able to slide, stack, insert with ease. Your organization equipment in your space, closet, wherever it is like a puzzle with big pieces, right? It should be easy, not rigmarole. 5, this is one of my favorite ones. Oh, I'm such a nerd. Rethink storage options. Think outside the box. And I give my mom a big shout out for this because she's one of the first people who ever told me this, even before I think magazines have recommended doing this, of course. Typical storage containers meant for typical things can be repurposed. For example, silverware containers can be used for makeup or markers or um, a plethora of other things, hardware stuff. And you know, those hanging over the door shoe holders, they can be used for like winter gear over a closet door, so such as like put your gloves and stuff. You don't have to put shoes in there, or you can put summer paraphernalia. You know, you can change it out by season, which is another thing. Change things out by the season. For example, here, this is, I know it looks like crazy in my closet, right? So what I basically have is one of those egg crate kind of like bed pads on my door for sound purposes. And then I have command hooks peeking through the eggshell foam. And I'm using actually hangers to hang scarves from and bras from because the bra storage situation was very difficult. I didn't have enough drawer space for it. Didn't have drawer space for my bras. So I just got like a little outside the box and I hang them up. Even in our bathroom, right? Our friend Lauren Cox. Sorry that I mentioned your last name, but I don't think Lauren, aka we call her Big Daddy, would mind. So we have a clawsfoot tub, but sometimes people want to use the shower, right? So we have a plastic shoe holder in there that holds toiletries, you know? So again, that's thinking outside the box. That was also Mama's idea. She loves those shoe holder things. Another rule, here we go, guys. This is a hard one. Number 6, pickup sticks, is 1 in, 2 out. You've probably heard of the rule 1 in, 1 out. That's good. And it's a rule you'll hear often. If you buy one sweater, get rid of another sweater before you put away the new sweater. But 1 in, 2 out will help prevent clutter even better and force you to rethink things. In fact, I do this when I'm out shopping, for example. This hot pink sweater that I love so much while I'm at Macy's backstage, it's going to have to replace 2 things in my closet. So it will replace my college era Grinch polar fleece and the snowflake sweater because they bring me joy. They're bright and fun, but hot pink is my best vibe, and the other 2 sweaters had a good run. I can get rid of those 2 sweaters before I even swipe my card at Marshall's, y'all, or at Macy's backstage. Y'all know I like to shop at the discount places. But this is hard, y'all. I get it. Just try. Worst case scenario, worst case, you'll at least think of one thing to get rid of while you're out shopping buying the new thing. If you can't think of 2 things, you've at least thought of one, hopefully, and you've still had a hashtag small win. 7, and final tip for now, for your fall cleaning extravaganza, rolling with the homies. Oh, there was a big loud noise right then and there. It sounded like a car. Could have been a big fart from one of the dogs. But so rolling. It goes for packing too. Like when you're packing, I roll. Rolling saves space and prevents wrinkles. I loved rolling for my shirts. All my shirts in my drawers, I'll be posting social media of that to kind of give people an idea. That's what I do. And you can even see every color or type of shirt you have easily, as opposed to if you were folding and stacking it. Because you're folding and stacking, you're doing one on top of the other, rolling with the shirties. It gets you every single little item has its place and you can see it. I love rolling. I have plenty of more tips and can make them customizable plans for your organizational crisis, whether it's your closet, the fact that you don't have a closet. Believe me, I can relate to that. The war on paperwork or the war on stuff you've accumulated for a rainy day. I don't like to make my podcasts too salesy, but I do genuinely love helping people organize. In fact, it's something my mom had me do to help her friends when I was younger and I would complain that I was bored. She'd send me over to like Miss Connie's house, which was on a lake on stilts. It was so cool. But Miss Connie would chase me around with her purse that had a snake head on it with diamonds for the eyes, and we'd organize some stuff after I calmed down from my snake-induced panic attack. I'm giving all my new organizational clients 20% off their first virtual or in-person session with me. Just mention you heard about it on this here podcast. No fancy codes or anything needed. Just mention it. You can email me at who'sthatfatgirl@gmail.com for more info. And one more thing I want to leave y'all with is this. We talked about it a little earlier, out of sight, out of mind. I don't think it applies to organization. You can still feel the energy, even if it's out of sight, because it's not out of mind. Many of my urban dwellers can relate to the fact that we don't have many or any closets, so we just can't throw stuff in somewhere, hide it, shut the door, and call it a day. Stuff accumulates like cobwebs, and after Halloween, as I record this, cobwebs, they ain't so cute anymore. It's time to clear them out to make way for Fanny. Make way for Fanny. It's time to make way for the depths of fall and winter, the equinox, since we'll all be home a lot more, enjoying it. Enjoy the cooler weather by getting organized with me as your sidekick. Was that too salesy?
Thanks so much for listening, y'all. It is my hope to inspire, uplift, and entertain you with this Who's Dat Fat Girl podcast. So, if you're hungry for more, you can book me to speak or perform my solo show that inspired this podcast, Fat Girl Costumes, written by yours truly and directed by Brian Lady at your virtual or in-person event. Please visit brookehoover.com/fluffybuttproductions or email me at contactbrookhoover@gmail.com for more info. And let's follow each other on Instagram. I'm at Brooke Hoover, and the O's in my name are not the letter O, they're zeros. Not because I want to be a size 0, but because I guess I'm just so clever with my late 90s Yahoo self. And if you like this podcast, which I really hope you do, please give me a 5-star rating and write a review on Apple Podcasts. And most importantly, share this with your friends, family, and other people you may know who are as fat as we are. That's fat with a PH.